Hey y'all, what's going on? So, when you interact with people, you don't want to tell people things that you are not healed over. Don't tell people things that you are still sensitive about that thing. Don't tell people, especially people you don't know, like a job space. And you even have to be careful with people who make it so inviting and comfortable to tell you things, because I've been in a situation in my past where someone, when I was really young, someone made it so comfortable for me to talk to them, and it was an older person, and then they turned around and went and told everybody in the family, and I even expressed to them, "Are you going to tell anybody?" And I was young. And they said no. And they went and told anyways. And this was a male who did this, who was in the family who did this. At that time, it really hurt me. But at the same time, looking back at it, I was able to see how people function and how people are, and who to tell what to and who not to tell things to. Because sometimes people get taken advantage of because they're gullible or they're naive about life. And so as you get older, you're learning who to tell things to and who not to tell things to. If you're not healed, even as a young person, if you're not healed and you don't feel comfortable telling someone something, even if it's someone that you know, that you're really close to, a person at a job space, and they make it comfortable for you, sometimes even people you don't know, if you're not healed over that thing, sometimes it's best just to leave it where it's at and sit with it longer. So what you want to do is talk about the things that you have healed over and then see how people react. Majority of the time, you could be over something and you're just talking about it just freely. You don't care. You're like, whatever. You're over it. You got the gems from whatever and whatever happened to you. But now you're seeing how people react, and majority of the time what most people do, they end up acting out what you just said. They end up throwing in your face what you went through. But luckily you're playing the game smart, because you're seeing where this person is, where their headspace is, and how mature they can hold information without throwing it in your face. Because people will start acting it out. They'll treat you later down the road, especially like in relationships, they'll start treating you like that. And you're telling them this stuff that you've healed over because you don't care about it. It doesn't make you feel anything. You don't want to tell people what you haven't healed from yet. Even a partner, you don't even want to tell them that unless they have proven to you that they're a safe space. Unless they have proven to you over time that they are a safe space. You will know. You will know. You will know. You could get all the examples in the world, and then the person, they'll end up still acting out the stuff that you told them. They can act like a good, charming person. They can act like a kind person, and they still end up doing it. And what I think is happening is that they're looking to feed off of something. They're looking to eat spiritually, energetically. So tell people the things that you've healed over your experience and see how they react. And then you can gauge who that individual is. And if they can hold it, they don't throw things in your face, and they just keep it chill, they're honest with you, they're open, and you don't throw stuff in their face of the stuff that they have gone through, then that's a person that you can keep around. That's a person who is going to be realistic with you throughout that relationship. They're not going to hide things from you. They're not going to play games, because people, they're playing games. That's how they do it. They're just playing games. So tell people the side of you that you've already healed from, not the things that you haven't healed from, because that causes trauma bond, and in any given moment they can use that against you of why you're acting the way that you're acting, when it could be something else that's happening in your life. And like I said, people just want to feed off of you. They're just hungry spiritually, and they don't know how to get it from within. So they'll do it by triggering you. A lot of people test people and stuff like that in relationships to gauge you. And honestly, start testing them as well. Start gauging where you're at emotionally. You don't have to be stuck and feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm vulnerable, everybody knows my stuff. You don't have to do that either. You can play back, or you don't play at all and you just leave it, or you just say, I don't want to talk about it, or you walk away. But you choose what type of game you want to play. And when you are able to step back and play it in a non-emotional way at times, and not always putting your emotions into things all the time, and being selective of where you put your emotions at time, you're gonna be able to see differently, and you'll be able to somewhat protect your heart. Because there's a difference of closing your heart because you're scared, or you're opening your heart and you're gauging who's right for you and who's not for you, because you're valuable as well. Not everybody is going to be truthful and upfront about who they are. People are going to hide. So you tell them the parts of yourself that you've already healed. And the things that you haven't healed about, you continue to sit with it and ask God questions like, reveal to me, what is it that I'm not seeing about this particular thing? You don't always have to run to a person to try to get information. God is always the step higher for you to get your answers from. You don't want everybody's voice clouding your connection to God. So always talk about the things that you've healed from already, not the things that you are currently healing. If somebody they have not earned that position in your life, it is better to sit with it here. It's better to sit with it here. And if you feel like you're going over in a tipping point, go get help. There's all kinds of hotlines out there where you could talk to someone that they won't disclose any information. It's between you and that individual. There are hotlines out there and text groups on apps that you can communicate with people, and go from there if you feel like you're losing it. And who's to say that you losing it and going that extreme of feeling like you're going crazy, because it's absolutely normal to feel that way, is bad. You don't have to look at your feelings, your depression and your sadness, and you going berserk as bad. It's for you to uproot a lot of emotions and to see that you've always been there for you. You've always been there for you. And seeking out friends that cannot hold space for you is showing you how to decipher who to give your time and energy to, because you are valuable. You get to choose who you give information to and who you talk to, who you allow in your life, who you allow to know your business. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter. You have to start seeing yourself as valuable so you can attract people that are at the same space you are in, that will love you, that will cherish who you are, and won't take you for granted, because you haven't been taking yourself for granted. You have been choosing who's right for you, who's not right for you. Those are the steps of how to show yourself love, by saying, I'm not going to tell this individual this. I'm not telling them because I don't think they're going to be able to hold space for me like I will be able to hold space for them and show kindness back. So I'm just going to talk about the things that I've already healed until I meet people who are in a space that can hold me too as I hold them. and we live our lives the best way that we can. We encourage each other the best way that we can. We're not stomping on each other. We're not competing against each other of who has the worst trauma. We're just being humans. We're just living. We're figuring out this together. But a lot of people like to compete of who's had it worse, who's had it harder. What gossip can they spread today to feed off of it? And that's what they want to do. But you don't have to play those games. You don't. You absolutely don't. And don't feel bad for it either. So hopefully that helps. I love y'all. Keep hanging in there. Remember to choose who and what you tell what to. You don't got to tell everybody everything, especially when you're first dating them. You don't got to tell them everything about yourself. Don't do it. I love y'all. Keep hanging in there. Peace.